Hey, it's Tessa. I'm going to take you through a full body flow, emphasis today on the core. We're going to wake up the deep core with a nice little warm up, and then we are going to get into some bridging. We will be doing side lying series today, of course, and then again finish it off with a little bit more core work. For today, we're just going to do it all body weight, so you don't need anything. If you'd like to, you can always add ankle weights on to make it a little bit spicier, but you don't have to. Alrighty, we are going to come into supine, so lying down on our back. So meet me there, and we'll get started with some breathing exercises. We're going to take our hands to our rib cage, 2 fingertips below the rib cage and your thumb around the back, and take a deep breath in, inhale. Feel your belly expand here, and exhale, breathing out the mouth like you're blowing out a birthday candle. Deep breath in, inhale. And exhale. Start to feel the ribs come in and down, right? Inhale, expanding through the rib cage. Exhale, ribs come in and down, trying to bring the belly button up and in, right? So we're trying to find that rib to hip connection here. That's what helps to activate the deep core and to prevent that doming or coning sensation in the center of our abs. Inhale, deep breath in, and exhale, ribs to hips. All right, hands come down by your side. We're going to take the legs and bring them into tabletop. Knees stacked right over the hips. Press the shoulder blades down into the mat. We're going to open the right leg out to the side, bring it back into center. Open the left leg out to the side, back to center. And as we're doing this, we're being super mindful of what's going on with our hips and with our pelvic stability, right? So we don't want to be rocking side to side because that defeats the purpose. But if you do notice that you are rocking, shifting the weight into the left as you open and vice versa, that's totally normal. But I want you to just pay attention to that and try to minimize that, right? So what muscles do you need to engage with in order to maintain that stability? We'll do a few more here. And then the next time that the legs are in center, hold them here. Reach the arms up towards the sky. As the left leg opens out towards the side, we're going to open the left arm out to the side. Bring it back to center. Open right leg out to the side with right arm. And back to center. So taking this one step further, increasing that instability by moving our limbs away from our center midline, just making it a little bit more challenging to maintain the stability of our pelvis. And we need to recruit those obliques as we pull our limbs back to that center midline. So as you're coming back in, I want you to focus on that exhale, recruit the obliques, bring the rib cage in and down. Inhale to open out wide. Give me 4, and 3, 2, last one, come all the way back into center, hold here. We're going to lift head, neck, and shoulders, pull the right knee in toward our chest, extend the left, pull, and switch. Pull, and switch. So this is our single leg stretch. You can take this with your head up, or you can bring your head down, right? You don't need to stay in that chest lift, particularly if you're starting to notice that either you're feeling any neck strain, or it's really challenging for you to keep that lower part of your back down on the mat, right? We don't want to be lifting up, arching through the spine here. Exhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale, inhale. Trying to find those fast breaths here. We're here for 4, eye gaze towards the thighs, and 3, lift up 1 more inch there from the chest. Give me 2, last one, and lower all the way back down. Legs come back into tabletop, reach the hands up towards the sky, lift head, neck, and shoulders, pull the knees in, reach the legs out long, reach the arms overhead. Pull the knees in, and extend. Find that exhale as you extend the legs and the arms. Inhale to return. This one's a lot more challenging than the single leg stretch, so again, feel free to lower the head down. You're still going to find that challenge here. It's again so much better to be in that proper positioning than arching through the spine. And 3, 2, last one, and lower yourself all the way back down. Legs come back into tabletop, reach the hands up towards the sky, lift head, neck, and shoulders, hands reach towards the hips. We're going to start to pump our hands up an inch, down an inch, finding that 100. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, shh, 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 shh. Inhale, exhale, shh, 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 shh. Maybe as you exhale, you extend the legs. Inhale to bend. Thinking about pressing that lower back down to the ground, lifting up from the chest. And again, maybe you take a look here at the rib cage. Make sure that they're not popping out, right? You want to pull them in and down. You have a corset around you and you're like tightening the corset. We're here for 4, and 3, 2, last one, and lower back down. Whew. Give yourself a hug. Maybe take a little happy baby here. And then we're gonna plant the feet down, come into our first bridging series. All right, hands come to the hips here. Let's find some pelvic tilts just so we can start to find that spinal mobility. Take the hands to the hips where we have this imaginary glass of water on our belly button. Using the pelvis, not the rib cage, I want you to tip the hips towards the toes, finding a slight arch here through the lower back. Then you're gonna tip the hips towards the chest, finding that slight imprint. Tipping the hips towards the toes, slight arch, and tipping the hips towards the chest. And this glass of water is tipping to the toes. You're trying to keep it nice and full though, right? You don't want to spill the water. So that's how gentle I want you to be with this movement, right? It's not like this crazy rocking back and forth, right? You're very gentle. Right in the middle, between your imprint and your arch, that's your neutral, right? So that spot where our spine is resting naturally. And then I want you to find that imprint. You're gonna reach your arms behind you here, biceps frame the ears. We've imprinted our spine, tipping the pelvis toward our chest. Press through the feet, make sure that all 10 toes and heels are pressing down. We're gonna lift ourselves up, reach the arms up, reach the arms to the hips. And then lowering back down, upper, middle, lower, tailbone. Again, peeling yourself off, reaching up, and lowering back down. Try to keep the legs here nice and parallel, right? So pressing through the feet equally. We have a tendency to roll onto the sides of our feet. So stay pressing through that big toe. And again, try to find that C curve. Spinal articulation looks a little bit different for everyone, but as you're lowering down, can you lower the upper part of your spine, the middle, the lower, and then the tailbone is the last to touch the mat. Make sure that that rib cage isn't popping up towards the sky as you come up. I want to find that pelvis in alignment with the ribs. We're here for 3. And 2. Hold it lifted in 1. Reach the arms up to the sky. Little pulse of the hips. Up an inch, down an inch. Little lift and lower. So keeping the rib cage in alignment with the hips here, right? I'm not popping the rib cage up to lift, right? For 4 and 3, 2. Hold it here. I want you to imagine you have a booty band around your thighs. We're going to press out into that booty band. Come back to center. Notice how my toes didn't lift up, right? You want to keep all 10 toes down on the mat. Finding this press and release to come in. And we're using gravity as a prop always. So as we return the knees back to center, I don't want you to just like bring the knees back in, right? I want you to think about slowly closing and slowly opening. For 3 and 2. Last one, come back to center and roll yourself down. Whew. Alrighty, we're gonna find a slight instability here now. So I want you to lift up here through your left heel. So you have all 5 toes on the mat of your left side, and of course on your right, but we're lifted here through the left heel. Imprint the spine, reach the hands behind the head. Then we're gonna peel ourselves all the way up and lowering back down. So the reason why we have this left heel lifted here is because it creates a slight imbalance of heights, right? So now our left hip wants to come up a little bit higher than our right. And we need to find that leveling of the hips to correct for that. So again, finding that articulation as you lower back down and as you peel off. We're here for 3 and 2. Last one, keep it lifted. Reach the arms up towards the sky, little pulse. Up an inch, down an inch. Lift and lower. For 4 and 3, 2, hold. But same thing that we did before, we got that booty band. We're gonna open out and close it in. Open and close. And as we're opening, right, keeping the toes down on the ground, we're not sliding onto the sides of our feet. Keeping the rib cage in alignment with the pelvis. Give me 3 and 2. Last one, come all the way back into center, hold here, and then lower back down. Whew. All right, same thing, other side. Let's lift up here through the right heel, press through all 10 toes, imprint the spine, reach the arms back overhead, and lift yourself up one bone at a time. Reach the hands to the hips, and lower back down. So one side here might be a little bit stronger than the other, and that's totally normal. So this side for me is personally a little bit weaker. I tore my ACL on my right side, and despite rehabbing it, left leg is still stronger, left hip is still stronger. Give me 3 and 2. Last one. We're going to reach the hands all the way up towards the sky. Stay lifted here. Pulse it out. Up an inch, down an inch. Little lift and lower. Pulling the rib cage in. We're here for 4 and 3 and 2. Hold here. You got the booty band on. You're going to press out into the band. Come back into center. Out and in. Keeping the toes down on the ground. Keeping the rib cage pulling in and down. We're here for 4 and 3 and 2. Last one, come into center and lower back down. Whoa. Pull the knees in, little reverse stretch, and then we'll roll like a ball and we'll come all the way back up to seated. Okay, great. Hopefully we're feeling ready to go. We're gonna come down onto our right side now. I'm propped up here on my right forearm. My knees are bent, my heels are in alignment with my glutes, okay? So there's a line coming from my heel directly to my glutes. I'm lifted here out of the right side of my body. Hand can come in front of me here for a little bit of a kickstand, or I can keep my hand on my hip. And my heels are going to come together, toes apart, and I'm going to find a clamshell. Lift and lower. And I'm keeping my chest facing forward, right? So my body here is acting as a cue. I want to keep the chest forward because as soon as I start to open up through the chest, I start to open up through the hips. And the point of this exercise is to find that pelvis stability so that we can train our hips within that form. So we want to keep those hips nice and stacked here. We're here for 3 and 2. The next time that we lift up, hold here. We're going to extend the leg out long, tuck the leg back in, and lower down. Lift up, extend the leg out long, bring the heel back in, and lower. Lift up, extend, bend, and lower. And we're moving through something super sticky. And 3, and 2. Last one, close it all the way in. We're going to add a lift now here of a side plank position. So we're going to combo that now with a side plank. We're going to open up here at the knees, lift up, extend the left leg out, tuck it back in, and lower down. So we open into the clamshell, press up, lift, extend, lower, close. Open, lift, extend, lower, and close. So now we're starting to find a little bit more of those obliques as well as some shoulder work here on our right side. We're here for 3 and 2. Last one, we're going to keep it lifted, hold it here, little lift and lower of the leg. Pulsing it up an inch, down an inch. Oof, that inner thigh is really talking. For 4, 3, 2. Last one, and lower back down. Let's find a little mermaid here. So that right foot is going to stay bent. Reach my left hand long, lift the right arm up overhead, just to find a stretch here through this side body. Alrighty, then I'm going to press my hands into the ground, lift up, right knee is bent. I'm going to extend that left leg all the way out, and I'm going to lift myself up, finding a nice stack of the hip here, right hip over the right knee. And I'm keeping my left foot down on the ground. Super important that left foot stays down. Hands come to center. Even though we don't have a ball here, which like if you want to take a ball you can, I want you to think about engaging the lats, right? So like almost like pressing the fingertips together like you're creating energy. Then we're gonna reach the crown of our head down towards the tip of our mat, and then lift up here through the obliques. Reach down and lift back up. As we're lowering, I want you to think about pressing your head back in space because we have a tendency here to lean forward, and that takes it out of the obliques, and it also puts your hips in a little bit of a imbalanced position, which is not where we want to be. So we're working in the frontal plane right now, which means that we're moving side to side. And we're between like 2 walls, and we want to stay between these 2 walls. So reach the head back. It's going to find opening up here through that hip. The next time that you're down, stay down. Hold it here. We're going to find rotation here, rotating the chest towards the mat. Come back to center. Lift yourself back up. lower down, rotate chest, lift back up, come back to center. That's it. Lower down, chest rotates, back to center, and lift. As I'm finding this rotation, my hips are staying forward, right? So I'm finding this rotation coming from my spine. I'm thinking about my spine here as like a wet towel. And as I'm twisting, the towel is getting wrung out. The next time I'm down, I'm staying down. I'm gonna hold it here. I'm just gonna find that rotation. Hips stay forward. Eye gaze comes down to mat. Hands in front of chest. For 3 and 2. Last one. Lower the right hand down to the mat. Hand comes to the left hip. We'll just finish out here with some leg lifts, burning out this left glute. Little pulse. Up an inch, down an inch. If you want to modify this, tap the ground, lift it back up. Or you can just keep it in the air here, again, using gravity as a prop. We're here for 4 and 3 and 2. Hold here. Reach the left arm overhead. Pull left elbow in towards left knee. Reach it long. Pull and reach. Finding some side crunch. Obliques, my man. Oof. We're here for 3 and 2. Last one. And lower the left foot down. Reach the right arm up. And find that side body stretch. Alrighty, let's come back down to our knees. Swirl the legs around. Find side line. This time on the right glute. Okay, left forearm is going to come right down to the mat. Left shoulder stacked over the left elbow. Heels in alignment with my glutes. Knees are bent. Stay lifted here through the left side body. Heels together, toes apart. Open the clam and close. Reaching your head towards the edge of your mat so that we're not like in that perpendicular spine position. I know it's really tempting. I always want to check out my form too, make sure that I am looking okay, but it tends to put us out of alignment. So if you have like a mirror around you, it's always nice to be able to see that instead of forcing yourself to move in order to see what's going on. The next time we have our knee lifted, hold it here, little pulses, up an inch, down an inch. Woo. So this left glute was just working on the other side because, or sorry, this right glute rather, because she was stabilizing us. So she's already been at it. And now we're putting it to work. We're here for 4 and 3 and 2. Hold it lifted here. We're gonna extend the right leg out long, tuck it back in, and lower down. Lift up, extend long, tuck it in, lower down. I'm getting a phone call right now, so if you hear the buzzing in the back, that's what that is. Forgot to put that on Do Not Disturb. Reach it long and bring it in. We're here for 3 and 2. Last one, reach it all the way long, tuck it back in, lower down. Now we add that side plank, right? So we're gonna open up through the clamshell, lift up, extend the leg, bring it back, lower down, and close. Open, lift, extend, bend, lower, close. Open, lift, extend, bend, lower, close. Open, lift, extend, bend, lower, close. Stay with it, guys. Reach the head back in space, right? We don't want to tilt it forward. Unlike me, who I think was just doing that. Let's keep it lifted in 2 and 1. Lift it up, extend the leg out, little pulses. Up an inch, down an inch. Reach the head back in space, reach it towards the edge of your mat. Chest faces forward for 4, 3, 2. Last one, lower down. Find that mermaid stretch, reach your right hand out. Lift, left arm over top. And come back to center. How are we feeling? I can't hear you, but like I'm assuming you're saying you're feeling good. Okay. All right. Left knee is bent, right leg is extended all the way out. We're gonna take that left hip, stack it right over the left knee. And then again, find that energy here between the fingertips. Roll the shoulders back and down. And we're gonna reach the left elbow down towards the mat. Exhale, lift yourself up. Lower down. Exhale to lift. So remember when we did those knee openers in the beginning when we were lying down on the back? We're opening the leg out. We're exhaling as we brought the leg back in. It's a similar mechanism here that we're utilizing. Thinking about using the obliques to pull yourself back in instead of momentum. For 3 and 2. Last one, reach it down, hold it here. We're gonna rotate towards the mat. Chest comes to the mat. Rotate back to center, lift yourself up. Elbow reaches down, rotate the chest. Back to center and lift. Lower, rotate, center, lift. Lower, rotate, center, lift. We're here for 3 and 2. The next time that we're down, stay down, we just find that rotation. Keeping the hips facing forward. We're here for 3, 2, last one. Come all the way back up. Lower that left hand down now. We're gonna find those leg lifts here. So reaching the right leg up and lift and lower, finding that pulse. Or if you want to take that full range, you can tap the ground and lift it up. Just finding a little superset here on that right glute. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2. Reach the right arm overhead, bend the right knee in towards right elbow, reach it out long. Bend it in, reach it long. Side crunches here, staying in that frontal plane, so we got those 2 walls between us. For 3 and 2. Last one. And lower the leg down. Lift up here, find that beautiful stretch. Whew. Alrighty guys, that was your glutes and core flow. We are going to find a little stretch here just to give our body a shake out, and then we're good to go. So hands are going to come into quadruped here, hands stacked underneath the shoulders. We're in that bear or pre-bear plank position here. We're going to press through the toes, lift ourselves up, hips to sky, find that down dog. And then lift the left leg up towards the sky, left knee comes in towards the chest, drop the left foot down, drop the right knee down, hands come to the left knee. This is a hip flexor stretch, so I want you to think about reaching that hip flexor forward in space. Hands come to the inside of your mat here. Open the left knee out towards the side. Find a little floss. And bring it back into center. Reach the toes back, shift yourself up, down dog it out. Right leg reaches up, right knee comes in, right foot plants, left knee drops, hands come to the right knee. Hands come to the inside here of the right foot. Open that right knee out towards the side. Maybe you hear a little hip popping. Mine does. If it's not painful, don't worry. It's just muscle moving over the bone. But it's always interesting to hear your body make noises. Bring it back in. Hands come to the outer side. Lift up here through the left toe. Reach it back. One final down dog. And then lower onto the knees. Reach the hands forward.